Hello, my Zentangle friends. This is Barbara Langston, CZT. I'm a Certified Zentangle Teacher, and welcome to another session of Not Perfect Zen. I hope you're doing well. I am doing great, and I'm happy to be here. Here's my contact information. You're welcome to send me emails if you want to share your tiles with me. If you show your tiles on social media, please use @BBL_tangles, and then that gives me a notice that you've put something out there that I want to look at. And I enjoy looking at the tiles that you've done. Today I'm going to do, excuse me, kind of a part 2. In my last video, showed this tile that I had shared on social media, Facebook and Instagram, and I had a couple of people who asked me to please teach it, and this took me a long time. So what I did in the previous video was I showed this pattern, which is flutter tile, and then this pattern, the border, which is called up and across. And that was a fun tile to do. And today I'm going to show you 2 more parts of this, and that's Afterglo, and that is by Carole Ohl, and Waves, that's this one, and that's by Suzanne McNeill, and they are both CZTs, and both of these patterns are from June of 2010. I like to look at the old patterns in the excuse me, in the Tangle Patterns website, and those were 2 that I found that I had fun. And I'm going to show you first what we're going to use. I'm going to be using a Zentangle 3.5-inch white tile. You can use anything that you have, a sketchbook, a larger or smaller tile. You can use one that already has color on it, like I showed you with this tile. I had pre-colored it with watercolors, and same thing on this one. But I wanted to show you how it's going to look on just black pen, which is, I'm using a Micron PN, and a white tile. A graphite pencil, which is just a number 2 pencil without an eraser, and a tortillion, which is a blending tool, and I keep the paper clip in there just so I can keep the tip a little bit sharp because I'm kind of rough on them. And plastic nib is for the plastic nib here, the PN, and those are also just stronger pens. Okay. Deep breath, relax. We're going to have fun. Okay, I'm going to show you first the steps on, bring it up. I had it already, now it's gone. Okay, so I'm going to show you the step outs for Afterglo, and really simply what she does, let me zoom in, okay, is she makes this star in the center and then connects the lines with these little V's in between, and then she just does an aura around it several times. And then the 4th step is to connect all of those lines, okay, and then do the shading. And that's what I did on this tile. And you can see how it gets a little bit wavy, and that's okay. That's how it's meant to be. It's very organic, okay? But I'm going to show you how I did it on a different tile, and that's this one, okay? So for this one, I created that little star in the center, and the first little aura around it. And then I brought the lines out this way on the tile. And this was just, it's a different look, but you get the basic same idea. I just thought it was a little bit easier, and I wanted to teach you that. So we're going to start with our 4 corner dots. And if you have a colored tile, either one of these or a tan tile or brown paper like what I have here, anything will do. Okay, so now we're going to connect our dots, and I'm not trying to get a perfectly straight line. Okay, and then we're going to start with that star shape, and I'm not in the very center. I'm going to come up a little bit, and then we make that star shape by making that cross, and then again there across the middle. Okay, and then we're going to put these little V shapes down in each one of these. The Tangle Patterns website was started in 2010. And like I said, this is from May of 2010, or June. And so this was one of the first patterns that were shown on the Tangle Patterns website. Okay, and you can see I don't have it in a perfect star shape or anything like that. We're going to put an aura around it. Turn your tile to make it easier. And I'm trying to keep it about the same distance all the way around. If it's not, it's okay. Okay, so I'm going to do this one more time just to show you that this is how the original step out shows you to do Afterglo. Remember to breathe. Relax your shoulders. We're just getting started. Okay, and then in the original step outs, you would have this aura several times, and then you go from these points and connect each of these. Okay. And then you also do the same from the center and come up and touch each of these points of your V. And see how that one kind of went to the side, and that's just the way it's supposed to be because we're lining up with the tips through here. Okay? But what I did on this other tile was I just went ahead and brought my lines out. And I'm stopping at the border. And if you were putting this on another tile and you had a string, you would stop at that string. And this one, I'm just going to keep going all the way around and bring it to the edge. Okay. And then I went back and started putting my auras again. And I will try not to spin my tile too many times, but that's one of the nice things about having a small tile like this. It's easy to move it and keep your hand comfortable. Okay, I think I'm going to do one more. This is another one that's very relaxing, and it could be an easy one to do for a monotangle. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to do is actually a variation on this. This one is waves, and this is how she does it. She has these double wavy lines, and then you do auras in one direction and then auras in another direction. But since we have these lines coming out like this, I'm going to put it down here, and it's not going to be wavy, but we're going to have kind of the same effect. Let's go ahead and put one here. So I'm just making double lines now. And you could make these as wide or as narrow as you would like. And I think I'm going to stop here. Let's put one more. Okay, and then we're just going to pick one of these and start adding our auras. So it's almost like putting the beginnings of crescent moon in there. Trying to keep them about the same distance apart, but if they're not, it's okay, because mine are definitely not exactly the same. So now we're going to go in the curve coming this way. So do your first one and then just aura it. Okay, this one will come in this direction. Again, relax your shoulders. And I say those things because I find that I'm holding my breath. I don't know why, but relax, breathe, and just enjoy drawing one line at a time. You could also use this to put other patterns in. Okay, that can be fun. I got those kind of wide apart. So I'm a little bit anxious because September's almost here, and that means it's time for me to find the Inktober list for 2024 and start practicing those patterns. I will have 31 videos to do, and I try to get as many as I can done ahead of time because I also still want to do the other videos in September that I usually do on Wednesdays and Sundays. Okay, I'm just following my line that I put down there for the border. Okay, back in this direction again. And this is another one, both of these patterns are the kind of pattern that look really good after you do the shading. Okay, one more here. And when I'm doing an aura, and Rick and Maria suggest this too, that you point your pen toward the line that you're trying to aura. Okay? So I'm going to stop there on that pattern. And on the ends of these, I'm just going to add like a little fescue. You can make these as long or as short as you would like. Or you can just leave them like you have them here. Okay. So now we're going to add our shading. So for Afterglo, I'm going to put shading on one side of this. Okay, where this V comes in, I'm just going to add a good amount of shading there. Okay, so that's where these lines have come out. Well, not all of them, but so I have my pencil down on the side. And I'm not pushing straight down, because when you push straight down, it's not as easy to soften that line. If you see what I mean, I still have a dark line there, where when we're doing it on the side, it's softer, and then it's easier to blend and pull that out. Okay. And I do have a video that talks about how to do shading. Okay, so now we're just going to pull this down. I'm just not going to go all the way to the top of that next line. I'm going to leave a little bit of white on there. Okay, just keep turning your tile. So I'm doing little circles almost, pushing that into the paper and then pulling it towards this other line. See that nice little gradient that it gives? I'm just trying to keep it light up here at the top. If you have a colored tile, then you'd be able to put the white charcoal pencil on there, but it doesn't really show up very well on the white tiles. So this is another way to keep that highlight on there. Okay, like I say, little circles, and then pull it up. Okay. Next thing I'm going to do is put just a little bit of graphite along the outside of this Afterglo star. And it's just going to make it look like it's kind of floating on the page. And you could stop here if you want, but I'm going to go ahead and add a little all the way around. And then we're going to soften that. And I'm not going to pull it out too much, but I do want to soften that edge. So I mentioned yesterday that I'm going to do Inktober on bijou sized tiles. but I have been coloring them. I was going to do it just on the white tiles. Then I thought, you know, I'm just having so much fun with color lately. Might as well just go for it. Do it different from what I've done in the past. So I've been having fun coloring my tiles. Okay. Look at the difference that makes. Isn't that cool? All right. So now we're going to go on the inside of these double lines that we made and add our graphite. Oh, I went inside the line, didn't mean to. It's okay. So let's just do this side. And you point your pencil toward where you want the line to be the darkest. And try not to leave a space between. Sometimes it's hard to get that filled in. There we go. Okay, just keep going. Both of these are fun filler tangles. Okay, now I'm going to do this side. You could do these with pastel pencils. You could color these in with watercolor or colored pencils. Okay, so like on this one, I used a red pastel pencil. This was the color that was already put on there with regular watercolor. And then I put the patterns on here and then just put red pastel chalk on each of these and then up here. But then I used graphite to add a little bit more shadow. Okay, so now we're going to soften these. Push it into the paper and then pull it toward the center. But we want to keep this center part unshaded. And then that's going to give it a really pretty highlight down the center. Okay. Isn't that cool? I love how it gives it some shape. And this is where I say I'm really hard on my tortillion, so I'm able to push it back out if I need to. But I do try to kind of keep it on the side, and that helps. You can always come back and add more graphite if you want to. Make that a little bit darker along the edge. Okay, and just take your time on this. Enjoy doing the shading as much as you enjoy drawing the lines, because it's all part of creating your own little unique piece of art. I'm still fascinated, honestly, when I finish a tile and I hold it up and I go, wow, did I do that? And sometimes when I find some older tiles that I put aside, I have to look on the back and see if I put any notes. Hopefully I've not forgotten to add my chop. But every day I'm happy that I learned about Zentangle. And every day I'm happy to do it. And I'm very happy to teach you what I've learned. Okay, isn't that cool? I just love how that looks. Okay, like I said, if you wanted to, you could go back and add more shading. You can redefine your lines. Because sometimes when you've added a lot of graphite, you lose some of that definition on your initial line. So let's do that just so you can see. I don't know if you can tell the difference between these and the ones over here. This is just an option. But that's one of the things that Maria teaches, is to redefine the line. Okay, and you can do that inside the star too. But I think I'm just gonna do it out here on these, where we've added all that shading. All right, now you can put your chop anywhere on this. With Zentangle, you should be able to turn your tile any direction, and it works. Okay, so I'm going to put my chop here. And then the other thing that I did is, in this little space, I put the pattern therefore. And so you can add that in there if you want. You could put other little things on there. You could put the new, is it Lady Aura? Ladybug on there. I don't actually have the step out for that. I haven't practiced doing the ladybug, so I'm not going to do it. But again, the pattern, the first one is Afterglo. And I always encourage you to put your pattern names on the back. And that's by Carole Ohl, O-H-L, and she's a CZT. And the other one is Waves by Suzanne McNeill. And she has a lot of little books that have patterns in them. And she did a lot of the first patterns that they show on the Tangle Patterns website. Okay, so sign it, date it, and add a little journal entry if you want to remember what was going on for this day. Okay, again, I did this just a little bit differently on the waves. Okay, so ideally, or in the step outs, it is wavy lines. My waves are a little bit more straight in this one. And the difference between these two was that I had a watercolored background and I used pastel pencils, pastel chalks for the color. All right, that one was short and sweet. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please hit the like button. Only takes a second. And leave comments. Send me your pictures if you want to. I just love getting emails from you. Leave comments, share, and come back again, my friends. I look forward to teaching you again. Bye.